I think we might be live. Hopefully you all can hear me okay. Yep. Okay. All righty. Hi, guys. I was having a little bit of technical difficulty. YouTube was definitely like it's delayed right now, even as I'm looking at this screen. So I'm trying to like not be distracted by it, but this thing was trying not to let me out here. It was like I had to keep closing down and opening it back up. Technology trying to, play with me. How y'all doing? Hi, Evelyn, Annie, Jasmine. Hey. Yeah, tell me where y'all are. Y'all know I like to know where y'all are. What city, what states, country, all of that. I want to know where y'all at. I want to know where y'all at. Tell me in the chat where you are. Give it a couple more minutes and let some folks start coming on in. Richmond, Virginia. Yes. Boston, Nashville. Hey. Got some Greensboro. Central California, Orlando. Freezing cold Chicago. Listen, it is so cold in the Midwest right now. Like, it's crazy. Negative temps. Let's see who else we got in here. Jersey, Michigan, Cleveland. Hello. Yes, Memphis. Come through, Charlotte. Come on in. Yes, we love it. I'm so glad you guys are here, spending a little time with me this evening. I have two major kind of things I want to focus on. One of them, getting to whatever questions you have about the healthy growth tips video that I put up. I think it's been 2 weeks now. I tried to leave enough gap of time to let people get around to watching it before doing this live, so that I wouldn't have to spend too much time going like over everything in the video. I can just kind of jump into the questions, you know what I mean? So that's number one. The second thing that I want to do is do a preview of some new products that I'm working on, and, kind of keep you guys in the loop as we are in the product development phase. So yeah, those are our two major topics for tonight. This chat is for you all, so you can start putting your questions in the chat. I'm going to run down those 5 tips and we can just kind of like free flow through all of this, because I just want to make sure I get to all of your questions. One housekeeping thing before we jump into the healthy hair growth tips. If you shopped during the weekend, during the Valentine's Day sale, or if you've been on the website in the last couple of days, you've probably noticed that the elasticity restoring treatment, this baby is out of stock. It went out of stock, I think, late Saturday night. I was actually supposed to have inventory in the warehouse before that sale started, because I had placed the order like the first week of January. So I timed it to where it's like, okay, I know I'm probably going to need more inventory because that sale is going to wipe out. And y'all went in there and bought up a lot. Like some of y'all bought like 3-4 jars. Y'all are hoarding treatments. So yes, some of you all are pretty well stocked. It's okay though. I ain't mad at it. But all of that to say, I have inventory coming in. It should be getting delivered Friday or early Saturday morning to the warehouse. And then the warehouse needs a couple days to like get everything out the boxes. They inspect everything, make sure nothing, each unit nothing's cracked or broken. They log all the lot numbers, put it all up in the warehouse shelves and get it ready to be available to pack and ship. So somewhere between Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it should be ready to go again. So I will send an email, like a restock alert email, to let you know that it's there. And you can just, check back on the website Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, off in there, and it should be good. There was a little unexpected delay on the manufacturing, getting like the labels affixed to the jars. So it added a week in the schedule that shouldn't have been there. So that's why I got a little delayed, because I planned it right. I had that timing right, baby. Okay. But things happen, and I appreciate you guys being patient, and I appreciate all of you continuing to show up and spread the word to your family, your friends, all that. I have added gift cards to the site too. So if you have friends you want to get something for, but you don't know what they would like, and you don't want to try to figure out where to ship it and all that, just get them a gift card and they can make their own purchase. All right. So let me get into Wanda said I'm guilty of that. Yeah, y'all in here hoarding formulas. Y'all hoarding jars of treatment. It's okay though. I understand not wanting to run out. I tend to buy multiples of things that I know I use religiously as well, because it's like when that one that I'm using is getting empty, I want to be able to walk in my closet and pick up a fresh one, pop top, and keep it pushing. I don't want to be like, oh no. So listen, I shop the same way. So let's get into these here growth tips, okay? If you had a chance to watch that video, there were 5. Some of them were probably ones that you're super familiar with, and you're like, yep, I've heard you say that before. You may have heard some different things added to it. So that first major tip, you guys know, I'm always going to be on you about your scalp health. I am always going to tell you that your hair being clean is what is most important. The hygiene of your hair. That is so important. If your scalp follicles are impacted with debris and a bunch of product and oil all the time, it keeps your scalp from producing that healthy sebum that needs to secrete out. And it ends up making it harder for you to, have your growth process be on track. It makes it difficult for you to style your hair, all these things. So you want your scalp to be healthy. In your routine, if you're using the scalp clarifier, ultimate hydrator shampoo, these are made to get everything out, the buildup that gets into your hair from products, debris that you pick up from just being outside, the salt and toxins that are in your sweat when you work out. If you sweat in your scalp, either because you're working out or because you're just hot, whatever, all of that stuff is coming out through your scalp. You want to make sure you're cleaning that out. I recommend you need to wash your hair at least once a week. I know some of you may push it further. And if you're not having issues doing that, I'm gonna let you live. But if you are flaking, itching, all of that stuff, you ain't able, and you shouldn't do it. I wash my hair once a week. It's like usually 6 or 7 days, because past that, it's just like, it's a no-go. The other thing about your scalp, if you have anything flaking, that's not normal. It should not be happening. I feel like it's normalized a lot. And I know a lot of times people like to throw oil at it because they want to soothe it. But oil is an irritant to your scalp. It is going to make it itchier. That acid is going to go in there and pull your pH down, and it's going to basically act like fertilizer to those flakes. It's going to eat it. Like those flakes are going to be like, yummy, and just kind of keep multiplying. So you don't want to throw oil at anything scalp related. If you feel like your hair, you start to get flakes or dry patches in your scalp a day or two after washing, and you're just like, I don't know what to do, I'm going to tell you, go to the dermatologist and get checked out and see what it is. Is it seborrheic dermatitis? Is it just dandruff where you need to just kill it with an active ingredient shampoo? Because dandruff is a form of fungus. Sometimes you will get fungal growth in the scalp, and you have to kill that with an active agent. So like a shampoo like Nazoral is going to do that. And you use it, once a week, every week, and after a while, like a few weeks go by, you should notice that it's gone. If it's something more, condition related like dermatitis, you might need a medicated shampoo. I have a couple friends that use them. What I tell them to do, because those shampoos can make your hair feel dry, just use it as like a scalp treatment. Before you wash, put it in your scalp, massage it around, rinse it out, and then go ahead and use your regular shampoo and conditioner. So you don't have to pull that down through your hair. Because sometimes those shampoos you get from dermatologists, they can act weird in our hair. You know what I mean? Like it can make your hair feel dry and kind of like gummy and sticky and stuff. But it really just needs to get to your scalp. It don't need to be in your hair. So you can, do it that way. But the scalp clarifier will take care of what most of you all may be having issues with. If it's just general flake, like a little bit of dryness or flaking, something like that, like using the scalp clarifier will probably be enough for you. But if it's aggressive, like I would say, a day or two after washing, you look in your scalp and there's like flakes you can take your finger and like pull and like push off, you might need to go, into more of like a medicated treatment shampoo. But oil is just never about to be um oil is never about to be the solution. So that's just the point there. Let me go on into tip number 2, protein moisture balance. You guys hear me talk about that. I've been talking about it for years. I've been, formulating around it. That was the whole point of this treatment. Your strand needs a certain amount of protein and moisture for the elasticity to be there. So it's basically how much your hair can stretch without breaking. That's how you keep the length that you grow. So that way, when you go to get your ends trimmed, you don't have a bunch of split ends. That's what's going to help slow down the shedding. It's going to make your curls more definable. It's going to keep your hair from being so frizzy. Just naturally, your hair will be more resistant to the humidity and your life activity. Like, using this treatment for the past 6 years, like my hair just kind of stays a lot more defined for a lot more days. This is day 2. I've worked out in this hair twice and it's not been touched up. It's just been, you know, tied up in my scarf at night. And this is just foam in my hair. I'll get to that later. But the point is, you can train your hair to behave the way you want it to, but it requires consistency. It's a week to week to week thing. You use the treatment, it goes in, it does its job. A week goes by, you wash your hair, you reapply the treatment, it does its job again. It's kind of like a on the job thing. It has to be applied week after week after week after week to work. You can't just use it once and be like, elasticity restored, and then go back to doing other stuff. That's not how that works. It needs to come with you every week. You just got to keep taking it with you, okay? You got to just keep it all up in the routine, all right? So, all of that to say, if you have a lot of shedding, dryness, you're constantly feeling like your hair isn't getting, longer because you look up and you're like, dang, every time I go get my ends trimmed, I'm right back where I started. You need your protein and moisture balance is off. You don't need like, oh, let me get a full-fledged protein treatment. Too much. Oh, well, I don't want any protein in my conditioner. No, that's wrong too. You need both. You just need both. Texture doesn't matter. Curl pattern doesn't matter. All hair needs protein fill in. All curly hair has holes in it. If you don't fill it in with something, the hair at the ends is weaker because it's older and it's just going to break away. So the cortex internal part of your strand needs that structure, and that cuticle layer, if it's frayed open and has holes in it and it's not nice and smooth and laying around that cortex to keep the moisture in, that's when your hair is going to start being dry, breaking, shedding, being frizzy, all of that stuff. So this is made to take care of that problem. Okay. The third tip was water source. Oh my gosh. Water, right? Something so simple. I recommended in the video that you probably need shower filters. There are probably very few places in this country that you can live where the water is not bothering you. Kansas City being one of them. I'm not saying that just because that's where I'm from. I just know for a fact the water there is very pristine and clear and clean of stuff. If you have mineral deposits in water, calcium, rust, if you live in an older building or an older home where the pipes are old, uh, if there's like red clay dirt, like you get a lot of that in the South here in Georgia, like that kind of light pink reddish residue you might find built up in your shower a little bit. After a while, soap scum is a little red toned or brown toned. That's dirt and clay getting into the water. Like all of that stuff is going to make it difficult for your products to act the way they need to act. So, you know how on your product labels you look at the ingredients and that first ingredient is water, right? You're like, yeah, that's cool. Most of what's in products that have water in them is water. The majority of it is water. But that water ain't tap water. That water has been filtered in some way. It's had some kind of filtration process applied to it, depending on where it's being manufactured and what the product is. So the formula is balanced against that filtered water. Once you go, let's say you live somewhere in hard water, that hard water is going to mess with that formula. So if you feel like your shampoos don't lather well, you rinse your hair out and you still feel like you can feel film on it. Your hair is always super brittle and dry. Your skin is dry. You feel like you're just slathering yourself in oil and lotion and it ain't making no difference. Your skin feels, the texture of your skin feels a little like rough, maybe on your face, elbows, knees. You have enlarged pores. You have breakouts on your body, on your face. You probably need water filters. You probably just need water filters. You probably can take care of it with that. I'm knocking stuff over. So I had one on my shower already. And then I added this one from Filter Baby to my sink to start using, so that way when I'm washing my face and stuff outside of the shower, brushing teeth, washing hands, like I put this on one of the sinks in my bathroom because I'm like, I really want to like go hard in the paint with this filter thing and see. And I've had this for like a month now. Totally different world. The water is so much softer. And I feel like my skin and stuff is behaving like it does when I'm in Kansas City. Hair too. Like I noticed it immediately with the shower filter. So I do have a discount code for Filter Baby if you want to use it. It's in the description box below this live. But yeah, MoKnowsHair at checkout will get you an additional $10 off your order, even if it's on sale. And I think they've been running some pretty deep discounted sales lately, but worth every penny. I got it, I think like for $88, and it came with like some free gifts and stuff with it, but worth every freaking penny. Worth every penny. Okay, so yes, water. Definitely need, a lot of you probably need water filters. The fourth thing, physical health, right? If you have some kind of internal health condition, it is going to affect what your hair does, especially if you're on medication. Things for, anything heart related, circulation related is going to constrict the blood vessels in your scalp and more than likely slow down your hair growth cycle. If any type of medicines for autoimmune diseases, different steroids, different types of things are going to just mess with how your hair grows. If you are not drinking enough water, if you are not taking care of yourself, exercising, eating nutrient-dense food, not just taking miscellaneous synthetic vitamins. I mean, eating food with nutritional value, whole vegetables, fruits, grains, lean meat. I'm talking about what you put in your body, what you digest. If your body is not healthy, it is going to deprioritize your hair, skin, and nails because that's not considered vital to you. So if you feel like, dang, my hair grows so slow, I don't be getting no new growth or whatever you want to say, look at yourself and ask yourself, self, are you healthy? Ask yourself that question because your body will slow down your growth cycle if it needs to conserve resources for your vital organs. So if you drinking pop and coffee and everything else all day and you ain't seen no water, you're eating a lot of processed food, you ain't seen no fresh vegetables, no lean meats, none of that. You just running on fumes, you're exhausted, you're hopped up on caffeine all day, you sleeping 2 hours a night. It's just too much going on. Your body is going to be like, whoa. And it's going to be like, okay, shut down hair, shut down nails, shut down skin. We need all available resources for heart, liver, pancreas. Like, it's going to shut down all of your aesthetic things. The only way you're going to get your hair, skin, and nails to cooperate and act right is you're going to have to take care of your internal health. Hormonal things can also be a trigger there too. You know, going through menopause, some of that. There are some things you just may not be able to flip a switch and change. But for a lot of you, there are things you can just change to help yourself out. So I would definitely make sure that you are taking care of your health, getting those physicals, all of that stuff, getting blood work done every year. Don't skip that. Don't neglect that. All the energy you use to find the best hairstylist and nail tech and lash tech and all that stuff, put that same energy into finding your healthcare professionals. You know, get you a team. You need a primary care physician. Maybe you need you a dermatologist, gynecologist, whatever it is, dentist, all of it. Like, work on your health professional team in addition to the beauty squad. Okay. And then the fifth and final one was about disinfecting your hair tools and accessories. So when I say disinfect, I'm talking this, baby. Barbicide. This. I'm not talking about just rinsing your comb under the faucet in the sink. No. I'm talking about soaking those tools in some clarifying shampoo, scrubbing everything off of them, rinsing them off, and then spraying them down with your barbicide solution. You have to mix this concentrate with water, spraying them down, let it sit, rinsing it off, like actually cleaning and disinfecting your clips, combs, brushes, all those things you use in your hair, washing those hair scarves, bonnets, pillowcases. Like, you need multiples. After you wear it a couple nights, get another scarf out. You should not be like just putting that same bonnet on for weeks and it ain't seen no parts of the washing machine. I know it can get easy to forget stuff like that because you take it off your head and you throw it in the drawer in the bathroom or wherever you keep it. And it kind of just is a fixture. But you have to like get more mindful about that kind of stuff because you're transferring bacteria back into your scalp and hair doing that. So again, that's another cleaning hygiene thing. So these are things that you can do for the long run that will have more impact than you would like to give them credit for. Because you can buy all the products you want. You can buy all the expensive treatments. You can do all that. But if these other things are not correct and not functioning well, those products are going to fail you every time. And you're going to be like, everything I buy doesn't work. Nothing works. It's not the products. It's something else in play that's messing up. So I would definitely, if you have not had a chance to watch that video, go to it on my channel. 5 tips with action steps, things you can do. Okay, so what questions? Let me look over here in this chat and see what question. Do you guys have any questions about those tips that I can answer for you? Let's see. One person said, I think I use too much of the scalp cleanser. It takes forever to get out in the shower. You probably are using too much. It's very concentrated. So if you feel like you need to move it around and you feel like you're squeezing too much out, like I would just say do like a dime size amount in a section and rub it around. You can also spray some water at it if you need to like get it to move more. Instead of using more of the cleanser, maybe add a little water if you feel like if you're not able to like move it through enough. Because yeah, you shouldn't need that much at all. Okay, so let's see. Questions? Anybody? I'm trying to look through the chat here. I feel like there's like a slight delay on this coming through. Let's see. Travel size products. I am trying to figure that out. Travel size products are a little trickier than I thought they were going to be because they're such little bottles. The batches of formula it's kind of like to make the travel sizes, I need to be making the full sizes also. So it's kind of like if I'm reordering a large batch of a full size, then make a travel size with it. But I'm trying to figure out the timing on it because you can't just really make a little batch of products, not cost efficiently, I should say. So I'm working on it. Let's see. The difference between hydration and moisture. I feel like people just interchange those words. I count them to be the same. I think people just interchange the words. I mean, both of these words result in water. um, let's see. Recommendation for protein treatments. So protein treatments are something that you will only need if you are experiencing some type of severe issue. You have just had your hair bleached and now it feels like cotton. That is a protein treatment issue. You have experienced some grave amount of heat damage, like just hair is burnt up. That is protein treatment territory. If you're not experiencing some type of like major hair issue like that, you don't need protein treatments. You just need treatments with protein in it. That's what the elasticity restoring treatment is. All of those, like Joico, K-Pack, and Apogee two-step stuff, like I see a lot of people using those that it's like you don't need to reconstruct anything. Nothing's happened. Like you're just overloading your hair for no reason. And if you get it overloaded with protein, you're going to have your hair a little too stiff and brittle and drying out. So you don't want that either. So unless you've experienced some type of like damaging event, you don't really need like full-blown protein treatments. Let's see. Water filters, are there certain things or specifics to look for in purchasing one? I feel like as long as it's filtering down to like the very micro kind of particles, it's probably okay. I'm sure some of them are just better than others. I would just look at the descriptions and look at them on their websites and kind of like, I liked Filter Baby because they're focused on cosmetics. Like the whole point is to help, your cosmetic things be better. So getting the smallest particles of whatever shouldn't be in the water out, because they're focused on like hair and skin more than anything. But I feel like the each filter's website, because I haven't like sat around and just researched them all. The one I have on my shower is one I found on Amazon. It's linked under the description of this live and on the 5 tips video. I've had it for a while now. I'm probably going to switch to the Filter Baby shower one at some point, but I've just been keeping this one for now because it has a fresh filter in it. And so I want to use what I've already purchased and then I might switch out later. But yeah. Let's see. Do you recommend the L'Oreal High Color? Would you follow the same routine of deep conditioning every week in your hydrating shampoo? What is the L'Oreal High Color? Is that a box dye? Because if so, I would not recommend any box dye. Professional color only. I wouldn't do any box kit dyes at home. Go to a professional and get it done, or if you're going to do it yourself at home, I like the Ion color system that Sally Beauty sells. That's probably my favorite. Like you can access it without having a license color brand, but if that's a box color, don't use it at all. Don't use it. Don't use it. But yes, the hydrating shampoo and the elasticity treatment are going to be great in color treated hair. So if you are going to get your hair colored, those are going to help you dramatically. So, okay, let me jump into these new products. So right now I got 4 things in development. Okay, so got versions, got things going on. I started working on these last fall, so still working through different versions. So first, let's talk about Edge Gel. Got a couple here I'm still messing with. Like, so this little 2-knot style It's so I can test. I've been testing these edge gels. So I was like, I need, one on one side, one on the other, sort of kind of thing. So the style is more for me to test stuff than anything. But I mean, I think it's kind of cute. I would wear this somewhere. I wouldn't be too mad at it. It's a little childish, but basically I'm trying to create, I'm creating this edge gel to be like like a softer, like kind of like a moldable wax instead of it being just hard. So like when you put it on, it has the weight of edge gel, but you can easily move it around with your comb or brush. And once it sets, if you need to retouch it like the next day, you can, mist it with a little water, remove it again, tie it down, all that stuff. But I'm trying to make sure that for every texture, it will lay down, because I've noticed some edge gels, if you have a lot of texture, like your edges aren't easy to stretch and smooth, it'll create like a thick white cast on the hair. So that's what I'm trying to make sure to avoid, so that it's flexible, but also like not damaging to the scalp. I also want to make sure that, it's not going to be irritating. It's not going to be itchy. So like I have edge gel all up around this whole thing. Like I want to make sure like wherever you put it, it's not going to be a mess. And then like once it's in, like it dries. Like this is not wet. It's not sticky. It's set. But it's not super hard, but it's also not wet and sticky. So I think this is really, really freaking close. I have some test subjects that I've also given some to like use for me day after day. So I've tried, how many times can it be layered up, and how many, because with any edge gel, after a couple days, you have to wipe it off and reapply. Like I usually will spray some water, take a microfiber towel, wipe it off, and then reapply, because edge gel just sits on top of the hair. It doesn't absorb. So once you put so much in, after a couple days or so, it's going to have like the little, kind of little flake dust particles when you start moving it around and break that cast. So all edge gels are going to require you to wipe them off before you reapply. And all edge gels require you to put them on hair that doesn't have oil or product under it. So like if you know you're going to use edge gel at the end of styling, don't put your twist out cream and all that stuff all in your edges when you're doing your hair wet. Like avoid that hairline. So at the end, when your hair is dry, you go to put your edge gel on, it's going on hair that's clean with nothing underneath it. So there's that. Will it help with restoring thin edges? So if your edges are thinning because of tension or something like that, you're probably going to need to go to a hair loss clinic. Edge gels are not going to regrow edges. Nobody's will. That's just not, you can't put medicine in edge gel. So you're going to need to go to like a hair loss clinic, a hair loss specialist, a dermatologist that specializes in hair loss, so they can assess what's happened and then figure out what kind of treatment you need, because you might need cortisol shots, you might need Rogaine, you might need something else. There is no edge gel that's going to regrow your edges. Please don't get trapped into thinking that that's a possibility. I don't feel like I've seen anyone advertise edge gel that way, but just in case, I'm telling you, no, that ain't going to happen. Let's see. Oh, someone's asking about the ratio for barbicide and water. I usually just put like the equivalent of maybe a few capfuls of barbicide and then fill the rest up with water. The solution should kind of look kind of like a light blue. That's how I gauge it, because it depends on what size bottle you're putting it in. I feel like there's more exact measurement stuff on the packaging or somewhere, but it just needs to be kind of like a light blue in tone once you put water in it. Okay, so that's the edge gel. I am excited about these. I am excited. So this is, how it's kind of looking right now. That's what this is. So this has been in for 2 days. I swooped and duped it after I got done at Pilates this morning. I came home, reset it, and then just tied my scarf on it. for the day, and then I took it off before I came on here live with y'all. So um, yeah. Okay, second thing we got Mousse Foam Styler. Got a bunch of versions working here, okay? Because we're trying to figure out. So this is another one I've got different textures testing on to see. I've got two different things in my hair right now. This side has one thing in it and this side has another. So I'm just trying to test them under different conditions. So testing them with the smoothing pudding, testing them with the defining gel, testing it with the curl primer, testing it by itself, like under all these different conditions to kind of see, make sure that they can be layered and used together. Also making it so it can be used for like heat styling. If you want to do like a roller set for like a silk wrap, or if you want to do flexi rods, perm rods, and let's say, sometimes you do a roller set and you want to flat iron it after just because maybe the roots didn't get as straight as you wanted or whatever, that you can use that flat iron and you're okay. So making sure that it's going to be okay with heat as well, because I don't want you to feel like you need a whole bunch of different products. Like I want to be able to give you something where you can get as much out of it as possible. So like I also used the foam to pull through this hair to make this Bantu knot with, just to give it something so it would have a little hold and moisture but still be flexible, because these aren't really wound very tight. Like they're kind of loose actually. Like I kind of do a base wrap where I don't pull it underneath. I kind of like fan it out. So, because I don't like knots to be tight. Like these are actually pretty loose. Okay. So yeah, that's the foam styler. Right now I'm just trying to like figure out the balance of, I want to make sure it has enough hold to it. So like it has the grip that you need for different textures. So still working on this. I have some edits to still make on these, because sometimes with certain formulas, working with multiple versions of it at one time helps, because you can test different theories at one time and kind of save some time, because it's like, I think it could be this way, or which road I want to go down. So sometimes having multiple versions of formulas to test is more productive, because I'm trying like not to have this take forever, because I want to start rolling these out to y'all. Okay, so that's the second one. The third one is heat protecting serum. Okay, so this is going to be for that silk press, for that blowout. But it's also going to be a conditioning cream. So at first I was going to do a spray version, right? I was like, yeah, it's going to be a spray and da-da-da-da-da. And then like after like messing with it on a couple people and stuff, I was like, I think I want something more conditioning and something just a tiny bit more foolproof. Because what I felt like on the spray was, I'm like, you would have to get the right amount of this on here, and your blow dry skills need to be a little more elite to use those sprays and get your hair to be really smooth. And I'm like, I want to make sure that I am making something that you feel comfortable, that you really can use it at home and like get the look. And also giving it multi-purpose and function. So one of the things that you can do in a cream that's harder to do in a spray for heat protecting products is make it where it kind of creates a leave-in conditioning base within the product. Because when you're doing heat styling, you don't want to layer a bunch of stuff together. It's going to make the hair greasy, sticky, tacky. It's also going to disrupt the heat protection of the product if you're putting things under it, because it's not attaching to the hair directly. So I wanted it to be where it's like, okay, it's going to function as your leave-in and your heat protection in one product, so that you don't have to layer up, so that your hair feels hydrated. It is conditioned. It is heat protected. It's going to hold the moisture in. It's not going to be frizzing up, all that kind of stuff. So this for me also I want to make sure that it will work if you're not going to flat iron or blow dry your hair. Like if you want to do, so this won't have hold if you did like a rod set, but could it be like the conditioning base that you use and then put the foam on top of it and do a flexi rod set? Absolutely. Okay. So like if you feel like you have issues with, you know, your hair being super frizzy. I just saw a question come in the chat. I'm getting to it, babe. I'm getting to it. Want to do a wash and go and you feel like it's super humid outside, will help with the humidity. And then you can also, want you to be able to put other things with it. So like, let's say you wanted to do this as the base and put the foam on top and do a wash and go. Yes. You want to put this as the base and do a flexi rod set. Yes. You want to use by itself and blow dry. And then maybe you want to use the foam for a twist out. Yes. You want a flat iron. Yes. So I'm trying to make it where it will do all of that. So the texture of it is, let's see if I can get this, you can see. So it's a serum. So it's very kind of lotiony, very lightweight, kind of the texture you kind of see in a lot of like your facial products almost. So it's very smooth and silky and absorbs into the hair. So like when you apply it and brush it through, like you apply it to your wet hair and brush it through, it has some slip to it. So it's also going to make sure that you can get it evenly distributed. And it doesn't leave any like sticky film or weight behind, but the hair has so much shine. Woo! And it feels so smooth and conditioned. I've used this on several people. My hair was straight last week with it. I have some like video stuff that I'll share at some point of different textures I've tested it on, but it has responded beautifully to all the hair I've put it in. And I'm just like, I am so in love with the texture of it. Like, yes. Look, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. Bye. I mean, I am so like, because a lot of the heat protectants on the market, what I notice is a lot of them, a lot of our super like traditional ones, like your, like not, this is not to bash anything, but like your Chi and all that stuff, like they weren't necessarily formulated with textured hair in mind. And especially if you have colored textured hair and all these things, right? So I was like, I want to make something that specifically speaks to like textured hair. Like you could use this even if you have, you know, straight hair. If you are relaxed, you could absolutely use it because you could just use less. But you definitely, you can use this on, I wanted to make something that could be used on, you know, straight hair all the way up to the curliest, tightly coiled, textured hair, you know? So like even just wiping this off, this spot feels all soft now. Okay. So let me see. The smell, so I've got a couple. I think I like the fragrance where I have it now. It's like a fresh floral. So it's got different, so like it has like a little citrus undertone to it, but the top, like the overall top notes are like a fresh kind of like rosy floral with a snatch of citrus. So very clean. Something that, you know, sometimes when you blow dry your hair and flat iron it, you can smell the heat, for lack of a better term, like your hair smells like you put heat on it. I made this so it will not smell like that when you're done. So the fragrance is meant to mask that smell. So right now I'm still trying to figure out the exact percentage volume wise. I think I need to pump it up just slightly more, but because I don't want it to be like overwhelming, but I also want like once you're done blow drying or once your hair, you know, it doesn't smell like heat styled. So let's see. Can the smoothing pudding be used on dry hair? Yeah, you can use it like a hair dress. You absolutely can. I've done that before, like when putting my hair like in a ponytail And sometimes you don't want to use gel because you just don't feel like you need all that crunch. Take some smoothing pudding and work it through. I usually mist a little water first before I do that, but yes, you can. Okay, so that's heat protecting serum. So this one, I was starting out with a misting spray, but I switched over to this serum lotion because I feel like it has more functionality and it's more hydrating, protecting. I feel like you guys are going to be like, look at me with this silky hair that I did at home. Because the other part of it is me, I'll make sure you guys have plenty of like content around like, here are the steps I want you to take. Like I want you to use the scalp clarifier, the hydrating shampoo, the curl, the elasticity treatment, put this directly on your hair, blow dry, flat iron, and you're out. This is meant to be one step. Put this on, blow dry, flat iron, you out of there. One product. That's what we doing. Okay. Let's see. Do you recommend a shampoo once or twice if using the scalp and curl clarifier? When I use the scalp clarifier and then rinse that down, I usually just shampoo once. But if I feel like for some reason my hair has more buildup, like if I've put like a lot of gel in it or been like especially if I've been like re-putting it in a bun and adding product more, I might go ahead and do a second shampoo. But usually the one is enough. So I guess it just depends on what you've been doing. All right, let's do the last product. Is what y'all like best. It's y'all friend, oil. Y'all love y'all some oil. Y'all love y'all some oil. Y'all always ask me about oil. I'm gonna make you an oil. Y'all love asking me about oil. Can I have some oil? Mo, what oil? Can I use the oil? Yes, baby. We've made some oil to anoint your hair with. Okay. All right. In all seriousness, this is this is going to be a silk oil treatment. So y'all know I love me some chi oil, right? Y'all know I've been using chi oil forever. It's like, but it's really thick. And because it's more of a heavy leaning silicone based oil, which I personally like because I feel like that protects you from frizz, that protects you from friction. It helps hold the moisture in the hair because that silicone creates a barrier. And, the silicones in your hair products are water soluble. When you shampoo your hair, they come out. Like all that mess on the internet about silicones create buildup. Yeah, if you don't wash your hair, unless you're not shampooing your hair, and in which case you have deeper issues. But if you're shampooing your hair, them silicones are fine. I love them. Anyway, and they're actually, I'm not going to get on that silicone soapbox right now, but they are the heavy lifters. They are the real champs. They are the stabilizers. They are the protectors. Like when it comes to cosmetic chemistry, silicones are brava, magnifico. That's why you see them in so much stuff. The only reason the natural hair products have gotten into this it's silicone free is because y'all were out here crying about silicones for no reason, and these brands got scared that they couldn't convince y'all otherwise, and they just started listening to you for no reason. I digress. This oil is, so back to the point, y'all know I love the chi oil, but I wanted to make an oil that does what silicone does in an oil, but without it being silicone. How do they do that, Mo? So there are a few tricky little ingredients in the cosmetic chemistry catalog that behave like silicones, but they're not silicones. So they do the same thing, but they're not that thing, right? So that's what I'm using here. So that is allowing it to be not so overly thick. So like when I pull this out, it is like a very lightweight oil. So I would put this like in a dropper bottle, probably not like this Yorker, but like, how you turn the bottles with the droppers where you turn it upside down and one drop drops at a time, like that. Because it's very lightweight, but it's meant to add shine. It's meant to help lock in moisture into your hair. There are some ingredients here that will also, be nutritionally beneficial to your hair. But I wanted to make it a treatment that could do a lot of stuff. So it's the oil that after you have flat ironed your hair for your silk press and you want to add a little shine, or the next day you want to tame a little frizz or add a little shine, you put a little bit of this in your hands, couple drops, and pull it through your hair. It's the oil where you have your hair in your curly style. And again, you want to add a little shine, top it off. You want to use it to separate your twist. You want to protect the ends of your hair. A few drops. You want to, make sure those ends are nice and lubricated. So as they're brushing across your clothes all day, they're not, picking up friction and breaking open. So it's to protect your ends. You need a little bit of, extra kind of shine in your hair. That's what it's going to do. So if you put it on your hair wet, it's going to actually absorb, and you can still go ahead with your styling products. So kind of like multi-purpose, very lightweight, very buildable. So it's not going to be sticky and heavy and greasy in your hair. So that is, the point of making this oil a treatment, so that you can use it multiple ways and it not be too heavy for daily use. Now, I know somebody gonna ask, can they put this in their scalp? If it gets in your scalp, it's not gonna hurt you, but it is not a scalp oil. You should not be putting oil in your scalp at all. I realize there are a ton of scalp oils on the market. Again, because brands love to give you all things based on how y'all hoop and holler on the internet. Your scalp produces its own oil. And if your scalp isn't producing its own oil, you got to get to the bottom of why that's happening instead of throwing, I digress. It's not technically a scalp oil, but it is safe if it does get in your scalp. Because of course, sometimes, you're putting stuff in your hair. But do I want you oiling up your scalp with it? Nah, I don't. If you have one, a little dry spot and you need to take a little dab and like, boop, 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 it's not going to hurt you. It's fine. You want to put a little extra shine after you've, slicked your hair down or something. It actually blends really well. I've been putting it with this edge gel to see what happens. And it actually does blend really well and doesn't get sticky at all. So I can add shine to pretty much anything. Wet hair, straight hair, curly hair, if it's been roller set, all of that stuff. So using hair grease. No! Stop putting stuff in y'all scalps. The reason your scalp is dry is because you keep putting all this oil in it and your pH is tanking. Like, your pH needs to be around a 4.5, 5 in your scalp, and it can't stay there because you keep putting acidic stuff in it that keeps pulling it down, and then you're itching and it's dry, and you're like, more oil, and then it's drier, and it's like, your scalp produces sebum if you let it. You gotta let your scalp produce its own sebum. After usually about 24 hours or so after you wash your hair, you should be able to reach in your scalp and press your finger against it and feel like a sticky, tacky substance. That's your scalp's sebum coming through if you're not clogging up your follicles with oil and grease. So please stop putting stuff in your scalp. Your scalp has its own oiling mechanism built into your biology. I promise. And if you are having flaking issues or any of that stuff, you need to go get checked to see what that's coming from. And also consider that you may just need to use like an antifungal or dandruff shampoo like Nazoral or something. You might have a little bit of fungus, especially if you sweat a lot in your scalp and you tie your hair down, dark, wet, warm scalp. That's a perfect breeding ground for fungus. Fungal growth in the scalp can happen. Like, it's not like some like, oh my God, it can happen. Like, it's not the craziest thing. Lots of people have that happen. I've had it happen a couple times in life. Like, it's like you treat it with the right shampoo and the problem just goes away. The best thing you can do is make it a point to not go to bed with wet hair. If you are, let's say, slicking your hair into a ponytail and you use water to do it, like, you need to make it a point to try to get it dry. So pop under the dryer, hold the blow dryer on it. Like, don't just leave your hair wet and damp and against your warm scalp and covered, because you're creating a breeding ground for fungus to grow, and it's going to get itchy and it's going to start flaking, and that itching is probably related to that. So just try to be mindful about not letting your hair be wet at the root for long periods of time, like a whole day, overnight, stuff like that. Yes, I will save this live for you guys. It'll be in the live section on my channel where you can rewatch it. Okay. Let's see. A question about silicone if you're only using sulfate-free shampoos. So here's the thing. At some point, you do need a clarifying shampoo in your routine. I recommend probably at least like every 5 or 6 weeks. If you're doing curly styles, you wash your hair once a week, I would say every 5th or 6th wash, go ahead and use clarifying shampoo and strip everything off and rebuild the moisture back in with your hydrating shampoo. You just need to do that. The big, bad, scary sulfates, sometimes they're necessary. You just need them sometimes. I usually do clarifying shampoo like every 5th or 6th week. And I'll just get everything out and then go behind it with my moisturizing shampoo treatment and be good. So neutralizing shampoo and clarifying shampoo are not the same thing. Neutralizing shampoo is for chemical processing. So you've just done a relaxer, some texturizer, something like that. That's what those are for. Clarifying shampoo that's not the same thing. There are lots. I'm going to make a clarifying shampoo at some point. I'm just not working on it yet. But for the time being, like the Aveda Brilliant one, I love. Weedod, I think it's called Waterworks or something. That one's good. There's lots of them out there. Like you can just kind of, I would say like you could go on a site like Ulta and put in clarifying shampoo and just look at reviews. Because it's something you'll use like every 4 or 5, 6 weeks, do one wash with it. But you at some point are just gonna have to, you're gonna have to put a little sulfate in there, baby, and get that thing clean. Okay. Let's see. How many shampoo bottles do you own? That's a trick question. I have a whole closet full of things over there. I mean, brands send me stuff. I'm not just out hoarding this stuff, buying it. Like most of the stuff I have is because brands will send it to me to try. So it's not fair to ask me what I have because my stash is not realistic or anything I would suggest for anyone to do. Like I would not, like before I was doing this, I wouldn't keep more, like just tons of stuff around because it's like I'm only going to keep around what I can logically use. I don't like wasting stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to just hoard product at all. Okay. So let's see. If I twist my hair all week, is that okay as a protective style during winter? Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's just fine. Leaving your, like if you put it in some twists and just leave them in the twist, I think that's perfectly fine. And it's giving you a chance to not have to keep manipulating your hair. So that's good. My current shampoo, so the scalp clarifier is clarifying, but it's sulfate free. So it's like, it's not a bona fide like clarifying shampoo because clarifying shampoos have the big bad sulfates y'all be scared of. They do. This one is a sulfate-free clarifier. So it will do the task as your weekly thing, right? Like I use, like as it's running through my hair when I'm rinsing it out, I'll kind of slightly lather it on its way out through. But I'm telling you, every 5 or 6 weeks, you just need to take a good old hardcore clarifying shampoo and just strip that hair down and get everything out and start over. I know that's perfectly true for me because again, I like to use silicone based oils and stuff in my hair. So but I still feel like they break away when you shampoo them because any silicones that are being put in your hair products, when they come in contact with a surfactant of any kind, whether it's high or low level, it's going to break those molecules up. Like they're water soluble. Nobody's making products that just don't come off the hair. I literally don't know how that rumor got started 15 years ago other than people just not knowing what they were talking about. And YouTube used to be the Wild West. So there's that. A regular sulfate shampoo as a clarifying shampoo. That's what clarifying shampoo is. Those are, you're saying the same thing. Same thing. Clarifying shampoos are going to be sulfate based. Whichever way, clarifying sulfate, doesn't matter. Whichever way you want to call it. Brands label them differently. Let's see what else is in here. Any other questions I can answer for y'all? I'm so excited about this oil. Like, I've been using it every day, sniffing it, touching it. Just like, I just want to put a few drops. I just be like, it feels so silky though. Like, it's like, it just feels so good. And it's not greasy. Oh my God, I'm so good at this. Man, y'all, I'm excited. Let's see. Can you use ACV to clarify? No, use a formulated shampoo. Please do not wash your hair in vinegar. Stop looking for alternatives and just use the things that have been formulated, tested, pH balanced, all that right stuff. So yeah, non-reverting twist out product for a blowout on 4B hair. That's a mighty specific description. Jesus. So, if you're talking about this, if you're talking about what I am making, like, so I'm guessing you are like, if you blow out your hair and then you like, so like you could use my blowout serum, right, to stretch your hair with your blow dryer, if you have a Rev Air or whatever you use, and then you use like something like a foam to go and do your twist out. Yes, your 4B hair will be happy. And the good thing about the foam, I'm also like testing it for and thinking about in this process is being able to reapply it. So like being able to take some, like, let me see, let me use the right one that I already have in here. Okay. So like right now, like being able to do stuff like this, I can take some and redefine pieces. You know, like let's say a few days later, I got some pieces that are frizzy. I can take some foam and like re-stick them, basically, like re-clump them and it not be sticky. So like, you know, kind of being able to double foam it or touch up something. It's like, okay, now that's nice and, you know, smooth and reconnected and we're off to the races and we're good. So doing that and making it, you know, and it not be gross and sticky. So that is also something I'm making sure to check for in the testing process, is that it can be applied to dry hair also. So that, and then also like you blow your hair out, do a twist out, or you blow your hair out and do a rod set, like being able to put it on wet hair and it absorb and still lock in the way it's supposed to. So I'm thinking about all these things for you. I really am. I got all kind of stuff on my hands right now. Some water over here. Okay, let's see. Any plans for stronger hold gel? Yeah, that one, that's one I haven't. So I've submitted paperwork for that one, but I haven't started getting back the physical samples yet. That one is still in the very early stages. Like these four that I just showed you are like, they're close to being done. Like they are in physical space. The stronghold gel, I haven't started getting samples of yet. So I should be pretty soon here. But yes, I am working on a like thicker, you know, scoop it out the jar gel for your wet styling and stuff like that. Absolutely. I listened. I know y'all said y'all wanted one. I got y'all. Making products is expensive too, y'all. Like the lab ain't making this stuff for me for free. I do have to pay for these formulas. I have to pay for their time and all the rounds of stuff that happen, like formulas are very expensive to make. So I'm doing them as I can afford them because we're trying to run this business without being in crazy amounts of debt. Amen. You've probably noticed I'm doing this very like it's not a lot of bells and whistles and fireworks yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like having big lavish parties and using, certain doing big expensive things because I'm trying to make sure that the product I'm putting the money into the product quality and into the future of thinking about everything I want the brand to be. And also knowing that I am self-financing this business. I do not have investing backers. I am the only one in this, and I still have to take care of my personal life. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So I appreciate the heck up all of y'all for everything, for supporting me, for all your purchases, for sharing it with friends and family, for watching the videos, everything. I appreciate y'all because y'all are the whole reason I get to be here. So, yes. Let's see. Any natural hair salons on the East Coast that cater to hair care you can recommend? There's probably more on the East Coast than anywhere else, honestly. Probably East Coast, Texas. Yeah. But off the top of my head, you know who I like in New York that does some really nice hair cutting? She don't cut hair the way I do, but her haircuts be mad fly. The Mona cut. She's really good. I like her. She's in New York though. Let's see. But yes, there are let's see. If I'm exclusively using your products, do I need to use the scalp clarifier every wash? If you don't feel like you need it, you don't have to. I like to use it every wash because I'm working out every day. I sweat and I sweat heavily in my scalp. So I got a lot of sweat coming out, and I'm a person that likes to, slick edges down. So I always got some abundance of gel around the perimeter, like days of that. So I use it because I know the hair and the roots and scalp be getting put through it. But if you feel like you had a week where you didn't really have a lot going on in your scalp, it doesn't feel sticky or itchy, or you can skip it, or you don't have to put it all over. Because there are sometimes I might just put it on the hairline in the front, mush it around, and go ahead. I don't know. It just depends. But you can stretch it out if you feel like you need to. You can also spray some water in your scalp first, and that might let you use less of the clarifier because it'll help emulsify it more. If your scalp is a little damp, so you could try doing that too. Do you need to use the clarifying shampoo before the moisturizing shampoo? Yes, you want to use that first. Yes, ma'am. Is there a stronghold gel I would recommend while waiting on mine? That I liked. So there's a couple that I like. Now, one of them y'all not gonna like the price of. Y'all gonna be like, girl, get out of here. Aveda's Be Curly, the new gel in the green jar that they have. I forgot the exact name of it, but it's their new stronghold gel in the new like Be Curly Advanced Collection. But I think that gel is like $5,000. Y'all, and it's in a little jar. I mean, it works. And if y'all budget is for it, if you good with spending like $50 on gel, it works. It's just expensive. But another one I like that is more like price wise, what I would call reasonable. The Camille Rose Curl Maker gel. That one's good. I used to use that one a lot in my salon because I feel like it worked pretty well across a lot of different textures. So yes. Let's see. Annie's asking about products for straight hair. Yeah, I've already talked about the new products preview. If you missed it, you can do the replay of this live. I'm going to save it to my channel. But I have heat protecting serum coming, foam styler coming that will be able to be used for heat. And I also have oil treatment coming that will be usable on curly styles, silk presses, all of daily, for your. Okay. Did that fix it? Technology has not been my friend today. Stuff freezing, internet acting crazy. Lord Jesus. Um oh, okay. Am I up and going again? Can y'all be in here? YouTube is really trying me today. But yeah, I was talking about the process of formulas and stuff and getting stuff made. So once all the edits are done, you do stability testing, and like once we get through all that stuff, and then you're like, then the manufacturing process can be timed out. You got to get all the different ingredients from the different vendors and mix it and get packaging and labels and all that stuff. So I don't have a timeline yet because I'm not close enough to manufacturing yet to get a timeline. So someone's asking about, will I get into Ulta or Sephora? I may do that down the line. Like that's not going to happen like right now. Because I just want to make sure everything is stable and exactly the way I want it to be before like popping out into retail. Because retail is really difficult, and retail is hell for merchants. Like I get it. Y'all love to walk in those, big box stores and be like, wow, look at all this stuff. But I'm going to tell you, every owner of every one of those brands in there has had some days where they wanted to throw everything out the window over that retail partner. I'm telling you, retail is a beast. It's stressful. It's expensive. It's difficult. Retailers are not doing what they do because they love us. They do what they do to make money, and they're going to make their money at your expense, meaning me, the business owner. So anyway, I'm not running to retail in any like, I must get into retail, because I need my business to be stable. And I want to make sure that the products are going to stay, like, let's say I decide, you know what, I want to change something about this. I would like to do that while I'm still small and nimble. I can move more versus you get into big box retail. Well, you can't just willy-nilly change formulas and products because they're going to be like, hold on, this is in our shelves and you talking about you changing it. Like you can't make, quick moves with them. So yeah. Amazon, what about Amazon? Again, I don't know about Amazon. I mean, I've checked it out. I know I can be on there, but Amazon is some vultures. I'm gonna tell y'all, the fees that they charge to sell stuff on there, and they e-commerce like I am. So just buy it from me directly, because I'm like, y'all are e-commerce just like I am. Like they're not really offering much of a benefit to me other than taking a big old chunk of my money. Like, again, these retailers are not our friends. Like when I say I'm speaking like business owners. Like they are not our friends. They are not our friends. They make it harder to be in business. And Amazon, I know, look, I love Amazon. We all do. We all love to pop on there and grab all the random things that our minds think of and all the stuff. But I feel like when it comes to your cosmetics, yeah, I don't know about it. Because the cost and everything, and they charge a lot. They take a lot of your money. Like they take a lot of the sale for themselves. They take a nice cut. Like, dang, okay, y'all in here, y'all in here acting like some drug dealers about this. Let's see. Asking, will you be adding an autofill option on the website? You know what? That's a good question. That's a good idea. I've seen you like I'm guessing you're talking about the, like, you can have something just resent to you like every 4 weeks. I want this product to just be sent to me, charge me for it, and send it like a subscription. I need to look into I will look into that. I had not thought about doing it just yet, but that is a good question. And I need to put that on my list of things to look into, because I would have to the way that would work, like I would have to find like an app to plug into my website that would manage that process. Because everything a website does is some app that has to be programmed and plugged into it. So I'd have to like find an app that works well with my, and then make sure that it works with my warehouse um, software as well, so that it everything syncs up the way it's supposed to. But who asked that question? Sid, thank you for asking that about auto refill. I'll put that on my to-do list to start investigating. I thought about it a long time ago and then I forgot to keep kind of chucking after it. Good job, Sid. Okay, let's see. I did already talk about the future products, Erica Ford. You missed it, but I'm going to save this live so you guys can go back in and watch it. I talked about it not that long ago, so it'll be in the second half of the live. Let's see. So, let's see. After the elasticity treatment, should I use the curl primer, then the smoothing pudding, or just jump to the pudding? You can do either one. I like the curl primer underneath just because it adds like a little more protection for the hair as far as like from friction and from frizz and all that stuff. Like it's just a nice hydrating base. But the smoothing pudding also has a lot of hydrating kind of conditioning elements to it. So you could do it either way. I would say if you have both of those products, try it both ways and see which one you like better. Because it might just come down to preference. But I personally like to use the curl primer first. The only time I don't is if I'm putting, so like as I'm working on these styling foams that I'm making, working on the styling foam, like if I want a heavier base underneath it, because I want it to like, have the most hold possible and go the most distance it can go for a full week or whatever with no touch-ups, I might do the smoothing pudding first and then put foam on top of it. And maybe I don't use the curl primer, but I mean, I pretty much always spray a little curl primer on, baby. I just, especially on the ends for sure. But I would say try both. Question about crown breakage. After getting a cut, removing split ends, the hair is still growing in broken in the same areas when styled in flat twist. Sometimes if you have like a lot of very noticeable breakage concentrated in one spot, like the crown or the nape of the neck, my inclination is to ask you, think back maybe like to when you were younger, if you were getting relaxers and stuff when you were younger. Were you a person that you got a relaxer and your scalp was on fire and burning? Like it could be chemical damage. So sometimes if you have like any kind of chemical burn in the scalp, and if you ever had a relaxer like set your scalp on fire, that was a chemical burn. Sometimes that can permanently alter the follicles in a way where the hair will just always grow out deficient, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like I would need to kind of know more about the history of what you've been like, if you've had chemical damage, something like that. The other, if it's not that, then the other reason for it would be too much tension, too much pulling in that spot. So if you're constantly doing too much manipulation in a certain spot, that could be causing it as well. If you have anything chemically altering your hair, like if you're using box dye, that can definitely cause a lot of breakage. So I kind of would need to know more information on that. Because if you're getting ends cut, you shouldn't feel like that one spot is just doing the same thing over and over again, unless either you're doing something to it or something was done to it. Let's say, do I have to use permanent color on my natural gray hair if you're trying to cover the gray? So if you're trying to cover gray 100% and you want it to last as many weeks as possible, permanent color is going to give you more longevity. You're looking at more like a 4 to 6 week kind of thing. If you use demi-permanent, maybe you get a couple weeks or so, depending on how your hair holds on to color. It really depends on how your gray behaves. Is it more of like, you kind of have to find out by doing, but permanent color is typically the recommendation if you want it to be more of a longer lasting color cover up, if you want it to be fully covered for longer. um, if you feel like you have suffered some type of like chemical damage to your scalp, where you feel like there's some part of your hair that's just like very much different, very much always problematic, I feel like your best step is to go to a hair loss clinic, a hair loss specialist, and get an evaluation done and hear what the treatment options are. Because they have so many things they've developed in the world of hair loss. It's, I mean, like your traditional things like cortisone and Rogaine and stuff is there, but they have like laser treatments now. They have hair transplant, like follicle transplant procedures now that are minimally invasive. Like they have so many things that they can do now to help restore, hair that you may have lost through like traction alopecia or through chemical damage. So I feel like finding a good hair loss clinic, you can just kind of like Google around, see what's in your area, get a consultation, just at least get a consultation and hear them out. Because I feel like it's hard to know what to do with something if you don't know what your options are. And you're only going to get that by letting a professional look at it. Because things like that are not solvable with topical, like just get the right conditioner. Like that's not going to fix it. If it's something that is some type of damaging alteration to the physical scalp, you're going to definitely need to want to see a specialist for that. Okay, I'll take a couple more questions before we hop up off of here. And if I missed your question or you think of something later, you can put it in underneath this video, underneath this live, because I'm going to save it and I'll come back and look at it. So that way I can get your questions answered, even if I did not get to it in this live. And if you came in late, I'm going to save it. I talked about the 5 hair growth tips that I put up a couple weeks ago. Go watch that tutorial. It's linked underneath here in the description box. Also, I talked about the 4 new products that I keep dropping, that I'm working on. Keep dropping them. But I talked about these 4 new products that I'm working on. Edge Gel, styling foam, heat protecting serum, and then this treatment silk oil that does the heavy lifting like silicone, but doesn't have silicone in it. Oh, baby. I love this oil. But yes, I'm so excited for these. Like, yes, I am so excited. So I'm trying to cover more of your bases. So now we're getting towards some heat protection type things for those stretch styles, straight styles, but also things that you can incorporate into your curly styles as well. So these are the 4 that are in product development at the moment. So I feel like they're close. I feel like the 2 that are the closest to done are the heat protection serum and the oil. I feel like they are the closest to being like, I can be like, check, finalized formula, and then I can go into stability testing. But I will keep y'all posted. I will keep y'all posted, babes. So I'm so excited to keep offering things up. I have so many things I know I need to get to this year. It feels like it's been so long, but I'm like, dang, I'm only in like month 7 since stuff started shipping, because products started shipping July 30th. And I'm like, why does it feel like it's been so much longer than that? Lord, y'all, it feels like it's been years already. And I'm like, no, girl, you just started. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. I love y'all exponentially. I hope that I was able to get some good information to you tonight, get your questions answered. Again, you can always leave me questions underneath this video. I'll come back and check. I'm going to save it. It'll probably take it a little while to upload, but y'all can shoot me questions under the videos, or if, on Instagram or wherever. I try to answer everything I see. Remember, there's one of me and lots of y'all, but I try to answer everything I can get to within reason that I can see. I try. So I love you guys. Please subscribe for email if you are not subscribed. I am going to be sending out an alert to let you guys know when the elasticity treatment is available for purchase again. I'm expecting it to be by like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere near. The inventory is on its way to my warehouse now. It should be arriving Friday or Saturday. So we're almost there. It sold out during the sale last weekend, and it was a little delayed. So it's currently out of stock. I was trying so hard to prevent that from happening. I timed it right, but an unexpected bump in the timeline happened and threw me off by a week and a half. I had that timed just right too. Dang. Because I hate when stuff be out of stock. Like, I hate that. Like, I'm trying to like not have one of them brands where it's like every time I try to get something from this girl, everything out of stock. I don't want to be that brand. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. So more is coming. It's coming. And I'll send out a restock alert, and I'll also make sure I share it on social. So just, if you were waiting to get your elasticity restoring treatment, it'll be there next week. It'll be up. Check the website on Monday. It'll be up next week though. Is that it? I think so. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for spending your Wednesday evening with me. I will go live again somewhere in the near future. And if you have any questions or content coverage things you would like to offer to me, also put those in the questions comment section below this video, and I'll check those out. All right, y'all. Y'all be good. Drink your water, get some rest, exercise, eat some vegetables, wash your hair. Go to MoKnowsHair.com and order stuff. Bye.